Hey, Blue Table fans, time for more of a ramble. And I have this giant, on my phone, I've got on Facebook, I have this giant list of things that people said to talk about. Tartaria Explained. I didn't know what this was. I went up on Wikipedia, I looked up a little bit about it, and frankly, I still don't know enough about it to say anything about it, much less explain it. So, my sorry to Ricky James M. Basically, it's that there used to be these higher civilizations, but for whatever reason, they fell, I guess, Tartaria to a giant mudslide. And then now, of course, the powers behind the scenes, they want to erase the existence of these civilizations. Alex S. says, facial routine, a lot of very simple exfoliation. And that's whole body. I used to use, like detergent level hair stuff, and that's just not good for you. It dries everything out. It strips off your oils. Your body produces natural oils that are not bad. So I think it's just some good exfoliation. I used to have like whiteheads, and I just have to like pick them every day. And now I don't have that because I have a much more sanitary and simple routine. Yeah, and I'm trying to clear up my forehead. And it's coming along slowly. Okay, Kirk C says, when is BTP going to start doing battle reports again? Listen, guys, I need your help with this. I need you, yes you, in the comments to tell me if there's any good reason why I should do the old battle reports. And here's why. Because other people are doing them so much better. Not the same, I'd still have kind of my different handheld camera thing and where I explain more, because a lot of times the battle report, they just you can't see what's going on, they don't explain anything. Sure, they've got great special effects and stuff, but they never tell you why they're doing things, why you would make a certain move or stop to give that human element. All right, here we go. Also, do you still have, oh, this is a big one. And I'm going to make this into a separate video. Do you still have your vision board from 9-ish years ago? And have you achieved any of it? How has it changed over those years? Well, the answer is I don't have the physical board. I actually burned it. Like Buddhist prayer scroll, not skull. It's like, yes, I'm here for a Buddhist prayer skull. Uh-oh, you said the wrong thing. He's here for skulls. It is your skulls that we want. All right, so I'm sure Buddhists don't have an evil voice like that. We are the Buddhists. No, I do not believe that. So yeah, I got rid of it, and of course I don't live in the house where I had it anymore. I'll see if I can include a link to that. And but basically, I did this vision room thing, and it really helped me understand what I wanted and to get my I'd say my frequency or my, my happiness level. There you go. That's the term I use. And basically on my original one, I had all these companies and I was like, oh, and then each one produces this many millions of dollars. And I was like, one day I sat down and I was like, I don't want 10 companies. That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like not fun. For some people that might be fun. But I am not that personality. So in my visions, in my fantasy universes, I just made it so I had the money. Because if you're going to make up a story and just have it, then why not just have it? And then I'd be like, well, what would I do with it? And the fact is, if I had a certain amount of money, I wouldn't run Blue Table Painting. Because I wouldn't need to. I would just get the good parts of it. But I am where I am, and I do love Blue Table Painting. It's made a great living for me in terms of what it is. Like, I don't have to get up at a certain time and go to a job. And, and before this, the jobs I had were post-college, I was just a school teacher. And I loved being a school teacher, but mentally and physically, it's back-breaking labor, especially elementary school. Like, imagine that. 32 9-year-olds. Teach them times tables. And, of course, deal with everything else. The bureaucracy, the parents, long hours. I was in San Francisco, so I had just this killer commute day and night. It gave me back problems for many years. So anyway, vision board. So my point is that yeah, it's changed a lot, and a lot of things have happened in miraculous ways. And sometimes I'm like, oh, is it just confirmation bias though? Like I ignore all the things that didn't happen, but do believe that something mystical happened when something did happen. Now, I'm a probabilities guy and a rules guy. So I know that even if you have a very large number of events, that if there's certain ones that are highly unlikely to happen, and a certain number of those ones happen, like there's 1 in 1,000 chance that this will happen, and there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that this will happen, and a 1 in 1,000 chance that this will happen. If you only had like 40 things on your vision board, already the probability spike of any of those things happening is like bonkers. And of course, you could be like, well, you just made it happen. Did I though? Because before I worked very hard and played by the rules, and things didn't work out very well. They blew up wretchedly, and I was like, oh, well, maybe there's something else going on. So, but it doesn't matter, because I do enjoy visualizing things, having daydreams, writing my fantasy universes that I have, because they've helped me with my mental health, and they've helped me with my positive thinking. At the very minimum, they've opened my mind to opportunities where under other circumstances I would have just not even seen those opportunities, or I would have just been like, nah. But now, like, things happen. So the big one is that when I was doing my vision board, a character kept showing up on it, and I was I was meditating. I was really getting into it, and really just putting anything up on this in this vision room that just made me happy, and I would write things under it. But one of the characters was the pregnant brunette, and I assumed that in terms of like how it might fit into my life and everything, I assumed it was just like a daughter-in-law, like one of my sons would marry someone and they'd have a child. But then along came my now wife, Luli. We were dating for 3 months, and she's like, I want to have a child. And I was like, oh, well, because another character, this baby girl, kept appearing. And again, I thought it was like, oh, it's probably a granddaughter. Or I don't know who this is, but I think it's great. And I codenamed her Esme. And so, yeah, we talked about it, and it took me about a month to be like, well, Sean, do you want this? It's just one of those life choices. Like, what if you're dating a woman and she was attractive and wonderful? She said, well, I want to have children. And what would you say to that? And I was like, well, do I want to do this later, or is now the time? So now is the time. And so we were co-parents for a while, and now we're married, which I view as two different things. And because you can raise a child without being married. I'm sure I'll get a lot of flack from the purists, but I'm unconcerned because I'm living my life. And my life is good. And so now I have it. That's really a miracle. And Luli says to me, she's like, Sean, thank you for saying yes. Thank you for saying yes to our child. And she's 7 now. So pretty wild. And let me tell you, when I have my kids together in whatever configuration, like it's a real joy. And if you personally decide not to have kids, equally as good. It's just you're choosing a different reality to be in, and it's okay. It's okay to be just you. And there are plenty of kids running around. Okay, so thank you very much. That's oh yeah. So a lot of things. I could just go on and on and on and on about the things that came out of my vision board, my vision wall, my vision room, my vision books, and that I keep very private. Like I've told you guys more than most people even know about it. So it's been great. I love it. And it's, at the very minimum, thinking about all that positive stuff helped me get rid of negative thoughts and feelings in my life habitually, and have habitually good thoughts and feelings. And you can't beat just straight up happiness. All right, what are your thoughts on retro models repaints? This is from Luis A. I'm currently repainting most of my metal 2nd and 3rd edition models. I think it's great. I've been seeing it too, where people go to those old 80s and 90s White Dwarfs and they just paint things in these retro colors. They have the retro models. I think it's fun. You should do it. Jimmy S. says, with all the 40K rules changes and stuff, are you still getting plenty of 40K project requests? The answer is yes. There's always a slump when a new edition of 40K goes out. It used to be 70% of all our business was 40K. Right now, it's like, for me personally, it's 40 to 50% because I've wanted to diversify for a long time. I get a lot of Marvel stuff nowadays. Let me see. Oh, but with 10th edition, they did something different. They didn't just say, oh, the first new book will be Space Marines. They said, we're throwing it all out the airlock. And you won't have any rules for months. And that was bad for us. That was a real punch in the gut. I was like, oh no, I needed that 50%. But now that they put out all the indexes, the rains have come again to the savannah. And vast wildebeest herds are like, 40K. Ash B says, what do you think of 10th edition so far and what changes you would like to see? Oh my gosh. Do I have time for this? Yeah, I do. All right, so. Oh boy. I like it. I think the problem is the tournament scene. Most people, even if they don't go to tournaments or these giant conventions that they have now, it's big business. They still play the match play rules. Everyone wants to play a square game, a fair game, and you don't get a lot of people doing narrative stuff, which I think is too bad. So what happens is, at tournaments, you got to finish the game 5 turns in 3 hours, including setup. There's not a lot of time to dick around with different phases and stuff. So they've cut psychic phase, they've cut the psychology phase. They've streamlined it so much that I think it's very much a different game. It used to be a beer and pretzels game. It used to be tanks had 4 different armor values and a top armor value, and your sponson got blew off. So all those details, those had to just be stripped out of the game. So it's a very different game. It's less of a role-playing game. It's less of a beer and pretzels game. It's less of that feeling they had in 3rd, 4th, and 5th edition. It's now 10th edition. I wish they would just let it settle. I wish they would have 6-year cycles. Some people complain about the rules churn. I don't mind the updates. It used to be if your codex sucked, wait 4 years, I guess. And now they're spicing it up I think it is every quarter now. And I really do love that. Sure, it's frustrating to have to know it all and kind of figure it out, as you go along, but it's really good. Adam WC says, time abroad. When I was 10, we spent a summer in Alaska in the outback, gold mining. Changed my life forever, turned me into a reader. I grew up as a wild child, a feral child, camping, cots, sleeping bags, mosquito repellent, and just that whole life. And now I'm in the city, and I am loving it. So it's turned me into a bit of a hobnobbing fob. That I've got a wardrobe, I love my pea coats, I love going downtown to get a steak, and it's really, really, really wonderful. And I very much enjoyed my time, my 4 years dating, and just going, oh, come on through. It's okay, bud. Yeah, here's my wonderful son.
Yes.
My royal prince. They always whenever I say that, they make a funny face. So I had that, and that turned me into what I am now. I served a Mormon mission. I was Mormon from age 15 to 42. I think that's 27 years. Loved that. That's an entire different video and story as well. Now I'm just something different. If I had a belief system, which I certainly would not recommend to anybody, it would be Holographic Universe. I read a book called Holographic Universe that's informed my whole approach to life, which is basically all this stuff works because people believe in it. It's Douglas Adams 42. It's an asterisk. The universe is an asterisk. It's whatever you want it to be. And to some people that feels like chaos, and to other it feels like whatever they believe because it gets confirmed back to them. Confirmation bias universe for sure. So anyway, I was a missionary. I went to Chile. I was stationed half in Santiago and half in the countryside. Again, amazing experience to just be out there raw, like not a tourist. You live with people in the regular houses, which is a bit of squalor. Not squalor in terms of dirtiness or cheapness, because the Chileans are incredibly clean, but just in terms of like, I don't know, not very much income, and you do have some privations. Sam G says moving house and home renovation. I don't know. I'm gonna take a pass on that one. Brian J says Old World Warhammer coming back. First off, it's never gonna come back and be like it was. If you want that, try 9th Age. They've done a great job capturing the essence and making it permanent. There's no new rule books. They've all been refurbished. They're doing a great job. 9th Age is like Warhammer 9th Edition. And they've captured it. They've really captured the essence of Warhammer, and it's really great. But in terms of the models, awesome possum. They're going to have some stuff coming out that's bananas. And if they capture the essence and pageantry and smaller scale of 7th edition Warhammer, they're going to have a real winner on the hands. William H. says, topic, boobs. Boobs are amazing. You know, you think that you've seen one pair of boobs. Well, now you want to see the rest of them because they're great. And I think as babies, that's our first incredibly pleasant experience. I think men are hardwired to just be deer in the headlights when they see them. So we're at a disadvantage, guys. We have an exploit in our brain where we literally cannot think straight if we're looking at them. So yeah, big thumbs up for boobs. Love them. They're fantastic. I think we're hardwired as humans to think very positively of those boobs. Okay, now the last two, these are the last two, are for completely separate videos. Arawak K says, you used to be politically active. How do you look back on that period, and what could make you return to politics? Nothing could make me return to politics. Don't talk to me about it. In fact, we're coming up on the season where I'm going to have to be snoozing people for 30 days a lot. I don't want to hear, you think you're going to change someone's mind with your snarky whatever, or your, it's fine. I'm all for the discourse, but you know, it's not really discourse anymore, and I don't think it's helpful. Anyway, yeah, so that's happening. In addition, what role, if any, does religion still play in your life? Ah, thanks for asking. I think I answered that a little bit with Holographic Universe. I'm just doing my own thing. I call it practicing Gatelyism, like I'm literally making up my own thing that's only for me. I wouldn't propose to say anything or make any recommendations for anybody's life. I mean, come on. But I am going to make a video about that because I wanted to talk about my Mormon experience, and in a positive way. But that's like an hour. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, both of these videos I made will serve to uplift and entertain you. Okay, bye.